Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Chop It Up. Again, since Michelle is trying to earn a living, it's me and Barry.
Yeah.
I'm coming to you live from the smoking section of Mom's condo, otherwise known as her balcony. And Barry is broadcasting live from our central studio in sunny
Yeah.
South Florida. I'll put the mic down now. Here's a shameless plug for the Yeti Nano microphone. Works pretty good for me. So anybody who's thinking about getting me one for Christmas, please get me something else.
Yeah, because you already got that one.
Yeah.
But I don't have one, so.
Oh, that's right. Barry's in desperate need of a Yeti Nano for anybody who's listening. Before I get into the laughs and the jokes and stuff about Christmas, there's something that I want to talk about a good friend of mine who recently died in prison. I say recently, he died September 17th. I just found out about it yesterday. You know, bad news doesn't travel fast sometimes.
Yeah, at least not coming outside the gates.
Yeah, and his name was Thomas McCampbell. His name is Thomas McCampbell. Even though he's dead, that's still his name. He had been in the DOC from April 26th of 1978 until September 17th of 2020. He served 42 years on a life sentence. He was originally sentenced to death, and through his appeals, he worked his way off death row and began his fruitless pursuit of a meaningful opportunity for parole, which is something that doesn't exist in Florida. And on September 17th, his pursuit ended. And I'd just like to take a minute to let everybody know that Thomas McCampbell is my friend. And he finished serving his life sentence, I guess the way the state of Florida wanted him to.
Yeah. And, prayers to his family, man. I'll be strong. That's one of the biggest fears that most guys have in prison too, is not being in prison, but dying in prison.
It hits close to home. I'm a sleepwalker. And what that means, it doesn't mean I always get out of bed. It means that part of my brain just really doesn't turn off when I go to sleep. And, I interact with the world around me even while I'm sleeping. And when I was at Taylor in 2008, I had a reaction to something that was causing my gallbladder to swell, and it was hurting really bad. And they took me to the infirmary. They gave me an anti-inflammatory shot, and they gave me some kind of diazepam to put me to sleep. And while I was in there sleeping, they're coming in, taking my vital signs and stuff. And, I don't know what's going on. I'm on autopilot. Well, in the morning when they were releasing me, they had me locked in a room by myself because I was HO4. So they didn't have me in the open infirmary area. They had me in an ISO cell. And in the morning, after the swelling went down and everything was cool, they were discharging me from the hospital. And when I went to see the discharge nurse, and we were signing the papers, she said, "Man, what was that you were saying last night?" And I said, what are you talking about? And she said, "When I came in to take your vital signs, you told me if I'm going to die, roll me out the gate first." And she couldn't figure out why I had made, such a crazy, odd request. And I looked at her, I said, "Well, nobody wants to die in prison, so even while I was asleep, the one thing I was telling them was, if I'm going to die, roll me out the gate so I could die out there in the free world,
Yeah, and that's what most guys want.
Yeah, and when I was back in the county jail, every time I went to the holding cell for court or something, I would see somebody who I knew from prison who was back for a new charge. And they would be like, "Damn, kid, what are you back for?" And I would say, "Man, I'm still on the same shit." And they would tell everybody in the holding cell, "Man, this motherfucker's been in prison for 30 years, blah, 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 blah. Damn it, man." And then people would come up and ask me all these legal questions, because they just believe that if you've been in prison all that long, you got to know something about the law.
Yeah.
And I would tell the guys, they'd be facing a life sentence or something and tell me, oh man, they came to me with 20 years and I'm not going to take it. Or they came to me with 25 and I can't do that. And I'd say, man, well, how old are you? Oh, I'm 27 years old. And I said, man, look, you get 20 years, you'll be out when you're 44. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's younger than I am now. And they'll be like, no, if they're coming to me with 20, then they ain't got shit. I'm gonna take it to the door. And I would ask him, man, do you got a mom? You got a dad? You know what I mean? You got kids. What do you got? And most of them have some kids and, obviously have a mom or a dad. And I would tell them, man, you need to think about taking that goddamn plea bargain, because if you fuck around and get life 17 years from now, your ass is still going to have forever in prison.
Yeah.
That's a reality. And what are you going to do? Have your mom worried when she gets old, what's going to happen to my baby when I die and he's still going to be in prison for the rest of his life? That's what I would tell the guys. And I would tell them, man, you better think long and hard about taking that fucking deal. Because if it were me, I'd take that motherfucker. I'd take it. They wouldn't have to ask me twice. And I
Yeah.
would tell them, the evidence against you. You can play them games with me and tell me they ain't got shit, but who saw you. Who knows. Whatever the truth is, it. You know what I mean? And I would tell them, man, I'd take that goddamn deal and get my ass down the road, get me some goddamn shit up under my belt, some trades, some education, something, and get out and be able to have a life. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I would tell them.
I'm trying to remember this young dude that came in there not long before I left. And I was in the holding cell with him when he was going to pre-trial, and they were trying to give him 7 years, and he was like, no, because somebody got 2 years, you know what I'm saying, with some probation, this and that. I said, well, listen, man. Oh, the victim, they ain't got no victim. She ain't gonna show up. I said, do you know for a fact that she live out of state? Say she live out of state. She ain't coming all the way back in state, and this and that there. I said, man, are you positive 100%? I said, because you're facing 40. I said, man, it's a big difference between. I said, by the time you get to 40 years, I said, by the time you finish appealing and everything, you probably be done dead by 15 if you're lucky. If you get some break, if you get a break. I said, man, that's a long stretch from the 7 with game time.
Yeah.
And he didn't take it. And they gave him, they didn't give him 40. I think they had gave him 25, which still gonna do way more than the 7.
Hell yeah. 85% of 25 is still 21 and some
Yeah.
change. Shit,
Exactly.
85% of 40 would have been 37, 34 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when he came and they were like, yeah, man, they banned me, man. The girl, she was on probation, so they threatened her, and she came back.
Yeah. And in their mind, the victim never wants to testify. It's always, oh, the state made him do this, or the state made him do that. Well, listen, man, the state didn't make him call the police in the first place.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? The state did not make them call the police. The state did not run up to them and hold the phone to their ear and mouth and dial 911. But they convinced themselves, oh, no, they didn't want to testify. Yeah, bullshit. They didn't want to testify.
Yeah, because he thought because she was a junkie, this and that there.
Yeah,
and she probably was on probation. And people probably did say it, if you don't come, you're going to have your probation revoked because you weren't supposed to be down here or whatever. So, of course, she's going to go testify. It's you or her.
Yeah.
But you didn't do your homework.
Right.
You just assumed. And I'm like, man, if you know you're guilty, 7 years, I mean, it might sound like a lot right now because you ain't did no time. I said, but man, the dude was like 22, 23 years old at the most. I say, man, it really is not that long.
I'm trying to move so I can get out of the sun where it's not that much of a glare on the screen. I'm over here overlooking the golf course.
Yeah.
So, and on another somber note,
like that.
Yeah. On another somber note, a very good friend of mine, her name is Kelly. Her and her daughter, Ellie, they live in the UK, both recently tested positive for COVID. So that's a pretty sobering thought, and for all the people over here that want to say COVID is a hoax and, all this other stuff, for whatever reason, some of them have this fanatical belief in conspiracies, and others just political reasons. They're politically motivated to, I don't know, discount or disavow, deny the existence of the COVID-19
COVID.
virus,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous. I see it every
Yeah.
week, man. I go out there to CB Smith Park, and I see super spreader events under damn near every pavilion, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, I don't know. I can't say. Maybe they all do the responsible thing and they all go get COVID tested, and when it comes back negative, then they all congregate. I don't know. I just know that it just doesn't seem like the right thing to do for me right now. That's all.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And
So
now everybody waiting on a vaccine. I'm
yeah,
not, but
yeah.
everybody waiting.
What I'll do is I'll wait. I'll tell you
Yeah.
something. I'm gonna
I
bring
want to see
something to
who
you.
grow. I
I'm
want
gonna
to see
bring
who grow
something.
two
I'm gonna bring
heads
something
first.
to your memory. I'm gonna bring something to your memory. One time, we were at Charlotte. This was back in November of 1992. We were coming back from lunch. We were approaching the barbershop area over there by housing 1, 2, and 3. Right. And now, for
Yeah.
those of you watching, during this time that I'm discussing back at Charlotte Correctional Institution, the officers were almost non-presence because
Yeah.
they were, if there was a fight happening right in front of them, they weren't breaking it up. They wait till it was over. I mean, whatever was going
Yeah.
down was going down. Back then, they were more or less glorified security guards. They weren't considered law
Yeah.
enforcement or anything. So that's how it was. It was pretty much self-governed at that time. And we were walking back, and I was busy talking to you, looking at you, and you reached out and grabbed me by the shoulder and said, hold up. Looks like something's going on here. And you said, it ain't never good to be in a hurry. You remember that?
Yeah. I think I
You
do
told me it ain't never
remember
good to be
that.
in a hurry.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I use that same logic for quite a while now. I've embraced that.
Yeah.
It's never good to be in a hurry. So I don't
Yeah.
really want to be the first batch of people taking the vaccine. I might not even be the
Exactly.
second. I'm going to let them get some
Yeah.
people up under their belt first. Once they've
Yeah.
got,
I want to see
yeah.
who turned to a werewolf first.
That's right.
Or if not,
Well, I mean, listen, I am not fantastic minded or anything like that, but I'm telling you, man, I keep thinking about the first episode and the first comic book of The Walking Dead when they said nobody knows how
Yeah.
it started, nobody
Yeah.
knows where they
No,
came from, and I'm thinking,
exactly.
man, maybe they
Yeah.
came from the COVID vaccine.
Yeah, from the vaccine.
But
Yeah.
anyhow,
I
that's my
never
own
get on
private
the.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah, I'm
But
never big on vaccines anyway because I'm
no.
not really a fan of you taking a disease and putting it in me when
Yeah.
I don't have it,
Well,
and
I
then saying
understand.
that you weakened it for my body
Yeah,
to fight it.
I understand how the polio vaccine and how the chickenpox vaccine
Yeah.
and flu vaccines work. I get that. Um, but I also know that they've had years and years and years of practice, and there had to been some starts and stops, some failures
Yeah,
along the way. And I just want this COVID vaccine to have its opportunity, to have its bumps and bruises, and I just really want to miss that part of the
yeah.
show, basically.
And the thing about
So,
viruses, they mutate so much. That's why I never take flu shots because they base it on last year's data, hoping
right,
that okay,
right. Well,
okay,
they
everybody
predict.
caught this one, so
Right. They predict what
everybody caught
strains are
this
going to
one,
come
so
around. Yeah.
so we're gonna try to, and they always miss because
Yeah.
if they didn't, it would be so many people. I know so many people that took the flu shot and still got the flu, and not
Sure.
to mention that you also get sick from taking the flu shot.
Yes.
I
Yep.
say, man, that's not a win-win situation for me at all.
No.
If I'm going to get sick anyway, I might as well fight the flu
Right. Well,
instead of taking the wrong shot for the wrong strain. Oh, they had a different deadly strain. Come on, yeah, because it comes out every year, a different deadly strain.
yeah.
And
Well,
now you just shot me up, took my money. It's good for billing insurance companies, I guess, but
yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah. So we've tackled quite a few serious and somber topics here. And before we go, I would like to say again, prayers and thoughts to Thomas McCampbell's
Yeah,
family and friends,
family and friends,
and
yeah.
for everyone who's lost a loved one in the fight for parole, trying to come home. I recognize the pain, and I recognize because I feel so much frustration and disappointment and anger, just at the futility of the whole system. And,
Yeah.
and, and I'll make a few parallels in another episode. I don't want to diminish right now, but anybody who's got a loved one who's dealing with parole or any other of the Florida Department of Corrections bullshit, please reach out. Give us a chance. Our contact information is going to be in the description, and we've got more than enough experience. Let our experiences
Yeah.
help you with your experience.
Yeah.
That's all for now. So take care, please. It's the YouTube mantra, man. Like, subscribe, and share. Pass the message on, and tune in next time. See y'all later. Peace.